Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy birthday on Friday to me. Yay. I'm grateful I was born. Whew. Yes, I'm grateful you were all born too because you're all here, so thank you for being here. And I'm especially grateful for my country. What I really appreciate is that I have the freedom to be me in this country. And I know that there's many other places around the world where people are actively being bombed, being terrorized in a huge way. And I know that sometimes things like that happens here, but the thing is that I'm free to take a stand and make a difference. And that's really important to me. And I also want to acknowledge that this Friday was Veterans Day. So if we have any veterans in the room, could you please stand? I know we got it. I know we have it. Keep standing. No, I know this is uncomfortable, especially because some of you are shy. But put your hands up towards these veterans and please repeat after me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate my freedom.
I appreciate my freedom.
I appreciate what you stand for.
I appreciate what you stand for.
My independence.
My independence.
And my ability to speak and be free.
And my ability to speak and be free.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I know that it's been a very interesting week for many people. And I'm just going to say in this room, there are people who voted for Donald Trump. In this room, there are people who voted for Hillary Clinton. And in this room are people who didn't vote at all. And yet we're all here together. We're all here together. And the reason why we're all here together, I believe, is because we all believe in the decency of human beings.
Yes.
We all want love. We all want respect. And we all want to see this great country continue on this path of expanding and expressing and being the most magnificent expression of freedom that it can be. And I know that in that there is diversity. And sometimes in diversity that means that there's people who think other than I do and that you do. And yet at the same time I think that we're all here together, that people are inherently good. That underneath it all, people are inherently good. That each and every one of us is trying to be the best selves that we can be. And I know that for a group of people, that this election was a big devastation. It was very hard. And for those people that are in this room, I want to say that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve. I know that we are here at a spiritual center and we are here doing great work in this world. And we are. And I'm wondering, did anybody pray about the election? I'm just saying, people praying? People prayed? Why, yes, I prayed. I totally did. I prayed. And what I pray is that the highest and best good is what is occurring. And so I want to let you all know that the highest and best good is what is occurring from this. What if this is the best thing that could have ever happened? What if there's something even greater happening that either you or I cannot imagine? And so I want to welcome you to be in that space of inquiry, to be in that space of openness, to be in that space of realizing that there is a bigger plan that's happening. And our intentions of love and our intentions of wholeness and inclusivity are part of that bigger plan. And it is playing out now. But we need to be in that space of seeing from those eyes, of seeing from the eyes of wholeness. This month we're speaking about wholeness. We're talking about what is wholeness. And it's kind of a good time to be speaking about wholeness. Because I'm going to say that our country is kind of divided. So what can we do to be the space of wholeness? Which is accepting all parts of ourselves. Accepting all parts of this country. even the parts that are uncomfortable. Now, I want to say that for me, it challenges me to grow. It challenges me to stand in my truth of who I know this world is about, who I really am. That I stand in my truth that I am a person of love. That I'm a person that is emanating the most divine expression of life. And that each one of you are as well. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget. I forget. I forget who I am. I forget that I'm a nice person. You know, sometimes I'm driving. I want to flip the bird. No. Then my license plate says Rev Abby. I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. Do not do that. Do not do that. But it happens, right? We're human. We're human. And each and every one of us has an opportunity to stand in love. To stand for love. To stand for wholeness. To stand for inclusivity. And that inclusivity, whether you are Democrat or Republican, blue, red, green, purple, blue, I don't know, rainbow, whatever you are, that it's an opportunity for us to reach across and create love with the person who's different than us. That's what this is an opportunity for. It's an opportunity for us to stand and see another person who maybe is different, but to recognize that underneath everything, we all want love. We all want to either, every action in our life is either a call for love or a call to love. And if I can see that every action is either a call for love or a call to love, then I can start changing my own actions. I can start standing into that space of loving people in pain and sorrow and anger. Even when sometimes I'm the target of that anger. Because that is the most powerful place to be. When somebody is targeting you with anger, and you can stand for love in the face of that. I mean, it's really easy to be love whenever everybody's being loving all around you, right? But it's not so easy to be love whenever you're in the face of challenge, of diversity, of anger, of hatred. And that's what I believe this is a call to. I believe this is a call for us to stand in our light, to stand up for the inclusivity of this world. That we are whole and complete, each and every one of us. There's a lot of really great things that came out of the Minister's Listserv. I have to say, it's been a beautiful time to be a minister and to watch what's been emerging. And one thing that I love is there's Reverend Barbara Leger, and I've talked about her before. She's from the Ukraine, where she has 3 centers in the Ukraine. She lives in the United States half the time, lives in the Ukraine half the time. And she said, there is something good that I can learn here. United we stand and divided we fall. We are being called to remember who we really are now, and how can we come together in a healthy way? How can we choose to be the person that causes us to come together in a healthy way? And she questions, where in me am I divided and have opposing desires or behaviors or beliefs or intentions? For instance, I really want to be loving, but I'm not willing to get out of my safety zone. Or I really want to be abundant, but I'm afraid to give things away, to give of my money, to give of my time. Or I really want a united country, but I feel myself too little to make a difference. These are questions that we can ask ourselves. And we can stand into the idea that I am the place where change happens. But that means that I get to change. I get to change my own being, my own behaviors, my own habits. Where am I divided? Where am I afraid of not going forth into the world and making a difference? There's this beautiful story about this guy named Nehemiah. Now, way back in the day, Jerusalem, King Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Jerusalem. And the Israelites did not build up the walls again. But there was this guy named Nehemiah, and he didn't live in Israel. He didn't live there. He didn't live in Jerusalem. But he did notice that there was a lot of challenge and rife and difficulty going on when the walls were torn down in Jerusalem. And so he came to the king and he said, I want to build the walls in Jerusalem again. And the king said, sure, go ahead. And so he goes to Jerusalem and he starts building the walls, but there's all of these enemies outside. And the enemies, he went and he talked to the town people, by the way. He got the town people to help him build the walls. But the enemies wanted to kill him. They wanted to destroy what he was up to. And so he was on top of the wall. And no matter what people did to try and destroy him, he kept staying on top of that wall. And he built the walls in 52 days. And he thwarted any attacks from the enemies. Because he said to them, I am doing a great work, and I will not come down. I will not come down. No matter what you try and do, I will not come down.
We rise.
We rise. Yes. And the beautiful thing is this story isn't actually about building literal walls. This story is about being on top of the wall of high consciousness. This is a story about being in high resolve. The enemies that are trying to bring down Nehemiah are really our own thoughts of separation, our own dividedness, the pull of the drama that's happening right now. Instead, I want you to build a wall in your consciousness where the lower vibrational thoughts of the world cannot invade you. Where you can stand up in this place of love and say, I am a stand for love. I will not come down no matter what you say. I am here of my high resolve because I know that love is the solution. That love is the answer. Nothing can divide love. Love is love. And so each and every one of us have that call to stay on top of the wall, to build the walls in our consciousness. And to not let anybody who's trying to destroy that idea of love bring us down. Not allow that to happen. So each and every one of us has a responsibility for stepping into our own greatness, for stepping into our own ideas of love. I read this amazing story about this woman. True story. 87-year-old woman named Rose. This was posted by a guy named Monsieur. And he said his first day in college, his professor asked them all to go find somebody they didn't know and introduce themselves. And so he got a little tap on his shoulder, and he turns around, and the woman behind him says, Hi, I'm Rose, and I'm 87 years old. Can I have a hug, please? And he starts laughing, and he says, Of course. And he asked her, Why are you in college at a young, innocent age as yourself? And she says, well, I wanted to get a husband, get married, have some kids. No. And he says, no, really, why are you in college at 87? And she said, I always dreamed of having a college degree. And now I'm getting one. And so he got to become friends with this amazing woman named Rose. And of course, she was the talk of the university. Everybody loved her. She's such a wonderful, wonderful individual. And so at the end of the semester, they invited Rose to speak at their football banquet. And as soon as she came to the podium, she dropped all of her, her little 3x5 cards everywhere. and she was so frustrated and embarrassed. And then she says, I'm so sorry, I'm so jittery. I gave up beer for Lent, and this whiskey is killing me. And she said, I'll never get my speech back in order, but I will tell you what I know. And she said, we do not stop playing because we're old. We grow old because we stop playing. And she said there's only 4 secrets to staying young, being happy, and achieving success. And the first one is you have to laugh and find humor every day. The second one is you have to have a dream. When you lose your dreams, you die. We have so many people walking around who are dead and they don't even know it. The third thing is that there's a big difference between growing older and growing up. If you're 19 years old and you lie in bed for 1 year, you make it to 20. You don't do one productive thing. And she said, if I'm 87 years old and I stay in bed for a year and I never do anything, I'll still turn 88. Anybody can grow older. That doesn't take any talent or ability. The idea is to grow up by always finding opportunity in change. And the fourth thing was have no regrets. The elderly usually don't have regrets for what we did, but rather for things that we did not do. The only people who fear death are those with regrets. She concluded her speech by singing The Rose. And 1 week after graduation, Rose died peacefully in her sleep. Yeah. It's a beautiful story, and what I really love about this story is that I want to find opportunity in change. Now, our world is changing right now. It continues to change. But where am I looking for the opportunity? And where am I stepping into the world and having no regrets about what I'm doing and who I'm being in the world? Our book of the month by Llewellyn Van Lee, Awakening to the World, has three spiritual illusions. What I love about this is a lot of us are here to be spiritual people. Like, we want to be spiritual people. And then we have this idea that, like, being spiritual is going to be a certain way. The first spiritual illusion is that when you're spiritual, that you always live in this presence of peace and love. He says, I thought that I'd be taken out of life, that the ordinary outer life would fade away. And then I wouldn't have to be responsible. I would just be lost in the love that life is. But the real path to spirituality takes us back into ourselves and into our lives. We confront our own darkness, our own shadow, and we embrace the wholeness of who we are. I truly believe that this is something that's happening right now in our country. Our country is having the opportunity to see its own shadow. And I know that the shadow work is really scary work, because when we see people being hateful, it's hard for us to understand. Why? Why is it happening now? Why at such a big level? And the answer to that is because it's time to heal it. It's time to heal it. I don't know if you know about cancer, but they call cancer the silent killer. And the reason why they call cancer the silent killer is because it can be in your body for years and people don't even know about it. And then, like, you go in to have a procedure done on something else, and then they open you up and they're like, oh, we were doing this procedure, but look, there's a tumor there. Why don't we take this out now too while we're here, right? And in order for the healing to take place, it had to come to the light. It had to come into our awareness, had to come into our experience. We had to see and know it was there in order for us to heal it. And that's what I truly believe is happening right now. That this country is revealing our shadow side in order for us to heal it. The second spiritual illusion is that we don't have to take action on anything. Everything will be done unto us, as if the actions simply arise by themselves without a need for a doer. What we say here, we say treat and move your feet. What we mean by treat is pray, affirmative prayer, and then take action. So in order to be a spiritual person, the things are not going to happen on their own. We are the hands and the arms and the voice of the divine. And we speak our truth in that alignment. The third thing is that the spiritual life will take you away from your ordinary life. The more we become connected with our spiritual life, in actuality, the more we are immersed in our ordinary life. And I have to say, that connection is the thing that keeps me going every day. It's finding the beautiful in the little things. On Wednesday morning, I stepped outside of my house, and the birds were chirping. I sat down outside of my porch, and my cat jumped on my lap, and my cat was purring. And I knew it's just a day. It's a day. And every single day is a beautiful day. I say here, it's the best day ever because it is our only opportunity to be alive is today. And so whatever I can pay attention to, however I can step into this aliveness, however I can see the beauty that's around me, instead of focusing on all of the things that could be or should be wrong about the world. I choose to focus on the things that are beautiful and that I can make a difference in. And so I know that I'm at choice point right now. I'm at choice point. Everything in the world is an effect. Everything right now is an effect of everybody else's thoughts, words, deeds. And right now, we continue to be at choice point. And the only way to change anything is to change ourselves, change how we speak, and to change how we behave and act towards one another. And you and I are the people responsible for that. Because we're here committed to being connected with that infinite everything that I call God or spirit or the universe or force. We're here to be connected to that. And whenever I'm connected, I remember who I am. And I remember that I am a person of divine order. That everything is happening in my life for the highest and greatest good for me and everybody involved. And when I see from those eyes, I behave from that standpoint. And that's how I choose to behave from this moment on. Are you going to choose that too? Yeah. Yeah. So I want to ask you these questions. Are you willing to let go of spiritual illusions? And maybe there's something that you could do now that you would look back when you're older and realize, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets because who I am has reflected my courage, my grace. There's Michael Mark asked this question. What barriers remain in me to accepting what is so? Where do I try and see the unbroken, undivided presence of love? Where are the wounds within me that I must heal? Because it starts with us first. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. And we get to heal ourselves first and the way that we treat others in order for there to be a change and a transformation in order to create a world that works for everyone, which is our monthly theme. Our annual theme, actually. Our monthly theme is wholeness. So I want to question, what is it in you that you're going to do this week in order to start seeing from those eyes of wholeness? What are you willing to do to open yourself up to healing whatever is hurt within you? What are you going to say in order to be the reflection of that divine expression on earth? How are you going to behave with each and every person that you meet, especially the ones who are in conflict with you? I want you to take these questions this week and dwell on them, because when we find the answers to this is when we will create a world that works for everyone. So let's do this. Okay?
Yes.
I love you all. Namaste. Let's pray. I surrender. I surrender my limitations. I surrender my ideas of separation. I surrender that which is within me that is hurt, where I feel broken. I allow myself to heal. I allow myself to see with new eyes. I know that there is one thing. The thing itself, the infinite everything, the thing that is causing the birds to chirp right now, the thing that is causing the sun to shine, it is so powerful that it created perfect harmony, perfect order, perfect organization where I'm breathing in, and I know when I breathe out, the trees are breathing in, and they're breathing out oxygen, and I breathe that in. It's mind-boggling how beautiful that this perfect harmonious system is in this world. And I know that this system that is working in operation in this world is working within me. And so I choose to see the wholeness, the perfection of what is occurring right now in myself, in my community, and in my country. I also know that right here that I am at choice point and I choose love. I choose to stand on that wall of high resolve to see from that idea, that greater perspective, that there is something magnificent that is transpiring right now. That there is something greater than I could ever imagine that is unfolding. And so I welcome that. I step into it. And I know as I step into it, every choice that I make reflects that very truth today. As I know this for myself, I know this for each and every person here. I know that every person is captivated, catapulted to that next level of awareness, that high vibration of love, of light, of power, of presence, that it is moving in and through each and every one of us, and I am awakened to it, that we are awakened to it at a more powerful degree than we ever have been before. And so as I let go of attachment, I step into that idea of power and grace and love and light and recognize that is exactly what is occurring now. And as I breathe into that, I release. I release. I release. I release. I release attachment. And I recognize that I have new eyes today, that I have been transformed, that I have been changed. And so with gratitude, I know that this is what God does. It works through me and through each and every person I come in contact with this week. And I know it is good, and it continues to build good upon good upon good. And I start seeing new evidence around me that this is a great work that is happening in the world, a work of love, a work of light, a work of inclusivity. And that I have the patience and the compassion to witness it unfolding in my lifetime. I am so grateful to know that truth for myself and for each and every person. And so I let this prayer go. I release it with absolute gratitude, knowing it's already done. And I say thank you, God, and so it is.
And so it is.